Hello! Welcome to episode 6 of how to make a 2D Minecraft style game in C Sharp. In the last episode, we added collision into the world for our character, and in this episode, we are going to be fixing up a couple of collision issues with the character, and we're going to be making it so that the camera follows the character around, so that you can kind of see where you're going a little bit better. So, that's going to be pretty simple. What we're going to do in the entity, we're going to add a public double step height. And that's going to be equal to, let's say, 30. And then, for this left, what we can do is we can do a plus step height here. We're going to cast that to a float. And another minus float cast step height here. Let's copy this, paste that there. Copy this, paste that there. And then we're going to make a new rectangle called step. And what that's going to do, we're going to do position X, remove that, position Y, and the width is going to be size.x. Let's cast that to a float, and the height is going to be the step height. If world is collision at step motion.y equals 0.1 times delta, or negative 0.1. Let's copy that, paste that there. And let's see. Do we need 2 minus 2 y plus step height? Oh, sorry. Let's change the step height to constants dot block size plus 2. As you can see, the character is kind of shaking a little bit when you walk up to the block there. And he is stopping. Oh! That'd be why. It is a minus step height. Sorry, not a plus step height. So when you collide here, but if you collide here, actually, let's take this out. And, oh. What that should do, should slowly move you up, but let's make it move them up a little bit faster. Oh, position Y plus float size Y minus step height. That is a little bit of a thing that I forgot to add in here. Now, size Y minus step height. Now, if you look at this, when it's colliding with the step, let's change this to a 5. Your character's slowly going to go up till he gets to the top. Let's try 15. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to go for an effect where it looks like your character is stepping up, or like walking up the blocks. So let's see. Oh, there we go. And we can also, let's see, 0.5 times delta. Let's make a public double walk speed equals 0.2. Or, sorry, let's make it 1. And then the player here, we can do speed equals walk speed times delta. There we go. And I'm going to change these to 0.25 actually, because it does look like you can kind of see the character kind of wobbling a bit when he's on the ground. There we go, that looks much better. So now we've got our little guy that can run around the world. And we can also press shift still to run too. I think he's kind of stepping up the blocks a little slowly. Let's change that to 100. There we go. You can kind of step up things that are a little bit too high. Let's try making this 30 again. And see, a lot of what we're doing is kind of like testing stuff to make sure that it feels right when you're playing the game. Let's try 20. Because we don't want them to step up things that are too high, but we want them to still be able to, like, kind of walk up the blocks like this. There we go. Oh. All right. And now, next thing we can do, we are going to, in the main program here, or actually in the world, we're going to make a public dvec2 camera equals new dvec2 0 0. This is going to be our camera. And so what we can do here is we can go and in this rectangle, we've got block X minus float camera.x plus raylib render width. And then we'll do the same thing. Copy this camera Y and then render height. And then we can go into the entity and we can go to here, the position X. Let's put this in a parentheses here, minus world camera X minus raylib, plus raylib render width, and select that, and I'm gonna press Control X, and then put a parentheses, put that in there, and this is in parentheses as well. Let's just copy this, paste this to the Y, position Y, world camera Y, and render height. And now we can press play again. As you can see, it is a little bit messed up. Let's do render height divided by 2 here, divided by 2 here. Go into the world, divided by 2, and divided by 2. So now your camera is right around here. It moves when you make the screen bigger, but that's because the center of the camera is moving. But now what we can do, in the player, we can do world camera equals position plus size divided by 2. We've got a little bit of a problem here, too. Looks like it needs to be, let's do a minus render width and render height. This is all a part of the debugging. Alright, the players are in the right one, so it is a minus instead of a plus. So if you change the plus render width and plus render height to a minus render width and render height, there we go. But now, placing and breaking blocks is a little bit wrong. So let's X out of here. And we're going to do im equals raylib.get mouse position. And we're going to do plus new vector 2. It needs to be, press enter here. And we're going to do camera X and camera Y. Almost got it. But looks like camera Y needs to be a plus render width divided by 2. Let's try that. No? Let's try just camera Y then. Let's try divided by 4. Almost there. That is a little odd. We're just going to experiment with some numbers until we can see if we can get something that works. That's too high. What about 3? Because that's almost there. 4 seems to be a little bit closer. But it's kind of somewhere in between. 3 is above, 4 is below. Let's try 3.5. That is very close. Let's do minus constants, block size. Sorry, not minus constant block size. Let's do minus 10. Minus 20. And I'm trying to get it so that it's right there. Oh, that's 15? Let's see, 15. That looks close enough. There we go. So now we've got our little character, right? And we can move all around the world. We can break blocks, we can place blocks. It's almost kind of like a Minecraft. But the world's a little bit small. So, this is going to be it for this video. And in the next video, we're going to learn how to make the world bigger. Alright, but that's going to be it for now. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.